Hello Maroon and Gold 4, and thank you for watching our presentation. I'm Neil Ember Parrilla, and together with Joseph Luensmann and Jean Dunbar, we are Team 15x. Today we want to present to you our completed design for your band-in-a-box project. We call our design the Upcycled Special. A lot of thought and planning went into this design, and based on your requirements, we know that this design is perfect for you. It features one range wind, two mid-range string, and one low-range percussion instrument that all together are capable of playing your hit song ASU alma mater. But don't take our word for it. Follow the link here or in the description below to hear the demo of the song as played by our designs. So now here's Joe to present the first instrument in our design.
Thank you, Neil. This is the Pringles Canpipe. These delectably popping notes come from our high-range instrument, the Pringles Canpipe. Finally, a wind instrument you can play even while safely wearing your face mask. Initially, our design called for an elastic band and fly swatter, and it was missing critical notes to play the song properly. The next design revision changed the length of the cans and added the missing ones. Finally, upon building and testing, the design changed a third time, because the sound of the fly swatter striking the can was changing the frequency of the notes. The most acoustically neutral material I could find was actually my hand. This lowered the budget for the instrument even further. Tape was used in place of the elastic band to keep the cans from slipping out of place while playing them. This design works because air is forced through the can to create a standing wave that travels through the can at the speed of sound. We thought the acoustic equation for a pipe with two open ends was the relevant equation to calculate can lengths for desired frequencies, because both ends are open on the cans. Actually, the equation for a pipe with a single closed end correlated most closely to achieved frequencies. We believe this happens because the wave forms while one end of the can is temporarily closed by your hand. This instrument is slightly difficult to play, and if I were to do it again, I would design a stand to hold the can pipe so that it could be played more easily, along with some kind of acoustically neutral material for a paddle to force the air through the cans. It can be difficult to achieve the correct note if the end of the can is struck incorrectly. Now here's Jean to present the next instrument in our design.
Thank you, Joe. I'd like to add that I think the Pringles Canpipe likely has the most appealing smell of all instruments you'll be considering. Now have a listen to this. These pleasantly tinny tones come from our medium high-range instrument, the license clarp. Careful when playing that you don't get issued a ticket for reckless entertainment. The frequencies it produces are a function of the length of its strings and the wave speed, which is a function of the string tension and density. This very compact instrument can be tuned to play many different ranges of notes. You can even swap out the strings from regular classical guitar strings like these for bass strings, or try something kooky like fishing line and see what kind of tones you get. The design changed very little from its original concept. The strings were rotated 90 degrees to allow more spacing between them, and they were shortened to make sure the design fit within the total string constraint. We also changed from using plain nylon strings to wire-wrapped nylon in order to obtain the minimum tension needed for resonance. The design is very simple and did not present any challenges except that it does not hold its tune for long. If we had to make it again, we might spend a little more of the budget and use real tuning hardware like geared tuning pegs instead of machine screws as friction pegs. This would greatly improve the ease and accuracy of tuning. Now here's Neil to present our next instrument in our design.
Thank you, Jean. Well, for all you coffee lovers out there, these peppy tones come from our coffee Canjo to keep you musically caffeinated. The unique feature about this instrument is the usage of a recycled coffee can. It utilizes 8 5-inch silver-plated wound strings that is about 0.043 inch thick, ranging from F3 to D4, which is about 174 to 296 Hertz. During the earlier stages, we had the design where the string would simply go across the can. Then we added lumber to the sides and the neck and a brace to support the tuning of the strings. And later we staggered all these bolts so that way it would not interfere with one another. So all these adjustments were made to accommodate the strings to play all the desired notes for a medium-low instrument. The cost of this instrument was about one shot of $6.41. The biggest challenge was to carefully blend the length of the strings and the amount of tension needed to achieve the desired frequency of the note. Well, please stay awake since Jean is up next to present our last instrument in our design.
Thank you, Neil. I feel energized from that presentation. Now for something truly special. These thunderous tones come from our low-range instrument, the perfect pitchfork. Just a few notes from this handsome instrument and fans will swear you made a deal with the devil for your musical talent. The frequencies produced are a function of the length and thickness of the bars, as well as bar material. These are galvanized steel. This diabolical percussion instrument has individual bars tuned for specific notes. However, if other notes are desired, bars could be produced for them. You can even try other materials to obtain different qualities of tones. When you're done playing, slide the bars out and it will stow away tidily in your stage box. The design has changed greatly from its original concept, a simplistic glockenspiel style instrument. It was first simply supported, then cantilevered, and went through various form factors of steel bars. Through testing, it became apparent that due to the thinness of steel needed to obtain low frequencies, a chime-style suspension was the only viable route. From there, the pitchfork motif was an aesthetic choice. Forks up. The design was challenging. We used steel due to budget constraints, but steel does not easily lend itself to the low range. Also, the nature of these thin flexing sheets introduced many extra harmonics to the notes. This was solved with the use of rubber bands as dampers. The hand carpentry was also difficult to accomplish well in the time frame, but hopefully you're as pleased with the finished prototype as we are. If we had to build this again, we would use different bar material, like aluminum or copper, to more easily achieve the low notes, if it was within the budget constraint. Also, it would have been helpful to gather more research while planning the design, such as the fact that sound has different speed through different alloys of steel. That information would have removed much frustration from the materials testing. But all in all, our team is very satisfied with the outcome. Now, here's Joe to explain some more details about the design at large.
Thank you, Jean. Our main overall goals are to create a cost-effective, unique, visually appealing set of instruments that were above all easy to play. We believe we have achieved all of these goals. Each of our instruments has a single acoustic element for each individual frequency, so it is much easier to learn how to play than a traditional fretted instrument or wind instrument that requires different fingering patterns. Plus, since most of the material for these designs has been sourced from inexpensive sources or recycled materials, it lends them two important advantages. The first is the novelty factor of seeing what some people might consider useless garbage actually making music that sounds good. The second is that it isn't very expensive at all. The entire set of instruments costs $26.62. Each instrument is under $15, and all but the perfect pitchfork are under $10. And these instruments are extremely small. There's a lot of leftover space in a 2x2x2 stage box that could potentially fit another entire instrument. Overall, this highly unique design fills every brief and checks every box, and is overall the best sounding, most cost-effective design possible. We've made sure to include our sources. Feel free to look them over. From all of us at Team 15x, thank you, Maroon and Gold 4, for watching our presentation, and we look forward to your feedback and to seeing you take your design on the road for your next tour.